Hey, what's up, everybody? It's MC YOGI. We're here in Seattle with Seattle Yoga News, your source for yoga information for the aspiring yoga community. MC YOGI, peace. I started practicing yoga when I was 17 or 18. I was living in a group home for at-risk youth for about 2.5 years. And my dad started practicing yoga while I was living in that program. And I saw that it transformed his life, so I naturally became attracted to what was working for him, and he never told me about it. So in fact, one day I approached him because I saw that he was becoming more healthy, more happy, more relaxed, more calm. So I asked, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Yoga, but you probably wouldn't like it." So I was like, "No, I want to try it." So I went to a class, and then the first shavasana I ever took, it was like the best drug I ever took in my life. It felt so good. So I got hooked ever since. I mean, hip hop and yoga actually have a lot in common. Both are oral traditions, and both were initially created to uplift community and spread a culture of creativity and celebration. And so for me, they're not really separate. They really speak to the same truth that we're all connected. And yoga, just like hip hop, can become very sort of materialistic. So I think when you trace the roots back to where it started, you see that it really kind of stems from the same place, which is just to really glorify life, celebrate our human culture. Oh, so many places. I mean, I was born in San Francisco, so the Bay Area is a very special place for me, and has influenced my music a lot. My first yoga teacher lived and had a studio in South of Market in San Francisco on Folsom Street, and he was the teacher to the Grateful Dead. His name was Larry Schultz, and so he was a huge influence on me. He kind of showed me that yoga and music kind of go well together. Other places that have influenced me, of course, India has been a huge inspiration. One of the most amazing places I ever visited in my life was this mountain called Arunachala. It's a mountain of Shiva in Tamil Nadu, and I had an amazing experience there. So India, and actually the first time I ever performed as MC Yogi was in India, on a rooftop in Mysore. So definitely, I would say India and California, and everywhere in between. So my main practice is mantra and meditation, and then I practice asanas a lot. But when I'm traveling, it's harder to do like a regular scheduled program. So basically, I just really work to keep the mantra going all the time as much as possible, and to take time to meditate and sit. And I read a lot of the mystic poets, a lot of scriptures. One of my favorite things to read is the Ramayana, which is a great epic poem. The Bhagavad Gita, I love to read that every day if I can. And there's so many great poets: Kabir, Hafiz, Tulsidas. I mean, it's a long list of just people and modern, more sort of Western poets or writers like Thoreau, Emerson, Allen Ginsberg. I read a lot. I love to read. I love to watch movies. I'm a big fan of comic books. And so my yoga is sourcing wisdom from all types of different media. I feel like if you have a refined ear, you can hear the teachings coming from all directions. So even on Netflix, you'll get some good wisdom on Netflix. Amanda's the greatest source of inspiration. She's my muse, my partner. She's an amazing artist. We're both visual artists. She's a fine artist. I'm a graffiti artist. And, we love to listen to music and make art together. And we travel together and teach together. So she's like my partner in rhyme. And she's my best friend. She learned transcendental meditation when she was in high school, and she had a mantra practice that she did when she was very young that she didn't really tell people about, and I think that really helped her a lot to be a very good student. She was like, I was kicked out of 4 schools. She was like a straight A student. So we're kind of the opposites in that way. But yeah, she started chanting mantras when she was very young. Maybe some people don't know. Amanda knows. Like my dream, like my aspiration, was to be a comic book illustrator, and I never really set out to be a yoga teacher. I actually didn't really. In a million years, I never thought I'd teach yoga. I didn't set out to be a yoga teacher. I started rapping when I was really young, like 13, 14, but I never thought I'd do it professionally. It's just because I really loved doing it. But yeah, the short answer is probably most people don't know that my dream was to be a comic book artist. I would love to sit with John Lennon. I would love to chant with Bob Marley. I would love to walk with Mahatma Gandhi. I'd love to pray with Martin Luther King. I would love to, listen to poetry from so many great saints, so many amazing musicians that I would love to meet and just talk with. And those are the people who are kind of past. There's a lot of people who are alive that I would just love to meet. I'd love to sit and talk to Rick Rubin, because I think he's pretty amazing, like how he makes music. I'd love to hang out and do some yoga with like Macklemore. We're here in Seattle. The Seattle Seahawks practice yoga. Russell Wilson, and they just won the Super Bowl. So I'd love to meet those guys, and I don't know, I would just love to do yoga with everyone, basically. Just hang out, meditate, chant, do yoga. Sounds like a good time to me. So if I were to condense everything that I've sort of learned along the path, I've been practicing yoga for about 15 years, traveling all over the world, meeting incredible teachers, sitting with enlightened people and, having conversations. And the thing that I've sort of learned that sort of echoes in my mind is that all this is passing. This is all like a dream. And there's a lot of suffering and there's a lot of pain, but there's also a lot of joy and a lot of beauty. And the one thing that is true and real that I found is that only love is real. Like that is the one thing that when we die, it's the only thing we can take with us. The love that we have between our family and our friends and, the Creator. And so for me, it all boils down to that, is that only love is real.